welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando, an April Fool's edition. Allie Mack, first of all, I don't do this April Fool thing anyway, but you totally crossed the line today, I think.
I love April Fools.
Allie Mack today post. It's the one thing you're like, oh, April Fool's is fun, blah, 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 but just don't say you're pregnant. What did Allie Mack do today on Facebook? I'm pregnant. And then I was looking at the commentary. It was, congratulations.
A lot of congratulations.
Congratulations.
There's so many people in this world. They're
and
awesome.
You're not pregnant.
I'm taking gifts.
Where
cash
do you
and
draw
dinners.
the line on something like this? I mean, pregnant? Can you really do that?
I did, and you know what? I sent my husband that same exact kind of message on. I text him, and what he responded back is, "You didn't say April Fools?" question mark, question mark. So I didn't reply back. I let him kind of sweat it out, and then of course I broke the news to him, so he was sad.
I mean, Brianna, is that cross? Hi, Brianna. How are you?
Awesome. How are you?
Is that crossing the line or what?
It's just a bit, but I feel like now with the rise of social media, it's just so much easier and so fun to get people's reactions in real time.
Tom Brady did the same thing. Well, he didn't say he was pregnant, but he said he was retiring because he joined Twitter today, and his first tweet was, "I'm retiring."
Did he? Oh, and he took it back. Oh, it was
and then he
his
was
April
like, "I'm
Fools.
just kidding, April Fools." So everyone's playing April Fools. I don't like it. It's just never been my thing, But
Have you been pranked?
But I'm
before?
the local Grinch on the show anyway, as you know.
You
So
you're that Grinch.
whatever. So
That's why I
Tom
don't
Brady
prank you.
faked retirement, and then in more local news, Allie Mack faked a pregnancy.
With both are not true, guys. Not true.
321-282-1055. You can watch the show at 4 o'clock p.m. every single weekday at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and your social media platform. Also, don't forget to watch the TV show. It's Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on TV 27. My name is Justin Clark. I've got Allie Mack here to my left, the beautiful Brianna. We have a very special show in store for you today. We're going to do the news with Allie Mack. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour. And throughout the show, we'll have a very special interview with a good friend of the show, Tom O'Hara of DH Sports Consulting. So stick around. But now it's time for the news.
If it's on the internet, she's talking about it. It's What's Going On with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
Okay, I heard that one. Now, do I go in? Sorry,
I know what's going on is
my...
you forgot your... What kind of radio broadcast professional forgets their headphones anyway?
Whenever it rains,
Why don't you
it
just leave them here?
completely throws me off.
Are you afraid we're going to steal them or something? Allie Mack brings her headphones in the studio every day, but then takes them home as well. I mean, it's more likely to get stolen from your car than from the studio, which happens to be in our law firm.
Well, I use them at home to, just because I have a home office, so I just put them on if the dogs are barking or anything, just to that ambient kind of music noise and stuff. So, but yes, but maybe you can get me some.
You don't want to splurge the extra $50 to have dual headphones, one at home, one at the office.
They're not $50.
Oh.
They're more expensive. Well, in today's news, of course, we're going to speak about March Madness and the upset regarding Duke and Michigan State. Did you watch that game, by the way?
I didn't. I missed most of that. I was at a little party at not a party. Some friends invited us over for dinner, so I had to miss most of the game because I guess they're not basketball fans.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
think
weren't watching.
It wasn't really a big upset. I was kind of like checking the score on my phone, trying not to be rude, but I wanted to watch the game.
Well, a lot of people have Duke as, one of their final
Yeah,
teams,
I mean, I agree.
So.
I'm just saying they haven't the last two games they've escaped,
They've escaped. Well,
so
but
it's not like it was super
yeah.
surprising that Tom Izzo, who's possibly the best coach in the country, and his Michigan State Spartans with that point guard they have is so good. Cassius Winston, he's just such a good point guard. He's not the most athletic guy, not the best shooter, certainly not the quickest, but he's just good.
Yeah. Well, every time we've watched them, I mean, they draw big crowds. I guess because he's that big player that the next LeBron, so to speak.
You're talking about Zion Williamson.
Zion Williamson. There you go. So there's another March Madness. I don't know if you're aware of it, but I am part of March Madness.
This is the Ted Bogert thing.
In the Ted Bogert.
Yeah. What is? Do you guys know Ted Bogert? By the way, he's a good friend of the show. If you want, check out his podcast or his online show. Sometimes it's the Ted Show. The Ted Show.
The Ted Show.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
go to
he's on
Facebook and you.
So he's doing this March Madness in which all his shows that he's had, which I think it's been a year, so I think he's had a little over 400 shows, 300, 400 shows. So he's doing a competition or, on best shows. And I've been, I think, on 4 shows.
Really?
Yeah, so I am very competitive. So, of course, I'm, doing my posts and all that. So, we're asking our viewers vote for Allie. So we also have it on our Behind the Law page. So
what do you
that's
win?
another.
Nothing.
Every time I play Stump the Clarkie here, I don't win anything.
Wow. I'm telling you, I give you water bottles with my face on them. But I give you those anyway.
Nah, that's true. That's true. So that's, another thing for, of course, let me see.
Huh?
So Southwest Delta flights, did you see that they're going to be delaying? Well, they've delayed flights due to some technical issues.
I saw that. That's never good, especially if you're traveling that day.
Definitely. So
and
they're
JetBlue and Southwest are really big here in Orlando, So
Yeah.
it's probably a rough day down at MCO.
I know. So
or OIA.
they're saying it's a system-wide, that it is affecting all the carriers. So do you feel safe flying right now?
I feel safe flying, but I certainly think flying's a huge pain in the ass. Like, I sit around and I think, I want to go on a family vacation. It sounds like so much fun, and then I'll go and, look at hotels and look at flights and things. But then when I actually think of packing up the car with Pilar, with
And the
my
babies.
6-year-old and the 1-year-old, and then like waiting in security line, I'm like, maybe we'll go somewhere we can drive. Just because it's a nightmare.
And driving's okay with you too?
I don't mind the driving. I seem to have my best thoughts when I'm driving on a
Really?
road trip.
Oh, do you have your headphones on?
I do.
Like me.
Yeah, I do. Is
So-
that illegal? Am I not supposed to do that?
I think it probably is. 'Cause
Oh,
you're
I
supposed to be
only
able
put
to
one.
hear.
I only put one ear.
Oh, I
in.
don't think that's wrong.
Because it's not headphones like these. It's the ones that you just kind of put in.
Why don't you just put the radio on?
Dude, do you really want me to have that fight?
What
with,
do you listen to in
with
the
a
car? That is
6-year-old
not...
girl and a 1-year-old girl and Pilar? Seriously, do you think they want to listen to talk radio? No.
I got it.
Yeah, that would be, pick your battles. That's not one I choose to pick.
So, what do you think about unfriending or unfollowing somebody on your platforms over a political post? What do you think about that?
I mean, I think if someone is just so outrageous and they won't shut up about it, and it's just like it's totally in your feed all the time, I think I'm okay with that. Yeah. You?
Well, you know how they've always said, proper etiquette.
I'm thinking about
in
unfriending
business
you
and
if
all
you
that.
keep begging for this TED Talks March Madness thing. But I won't.
Don't you unfriend me, because I'll unfriend you.
Wow. You promise?
Oh, yeah. So, well, it's been proper etiquette as we've been taught, we shouldn't discuss politics or religion. But I think because of social media, it's so easy to, voice your opinion, and then you get into these debates. Some debates are good, but some debates get very, very, very
Heated.
mean and ruthless. And I mean, people, even families have unfriended each other. And, are in arguments over one or both political or religious stance, your opinion. So definitely, how I feel about that.
My mom has a fantastic husband, and they were high school sweethearts. Didn't connect for 100 years or whatever. My mom's not 100, Mom. I'm sorry if you're listening. God. But you know what I mean. They both had their wives and families and things like that. Both were divorced and reconnected on Facebook. That must happen all the time, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Very
and now they
cool.
are like so happy. They've been together, 5-10 years again now, but they reconnected on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome when people. And
he's the best dude. I love him. He's the best.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I keep in touch with my family that I haven't seen since I was 3 in Peru through social media. Through Facebook, they see the pictures and they message us. Of course, we speak on the phone.
Do they post a lot of pictures of ceviche?
Of food,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been there's different dishes than
I think I would go to
ceviche,
Peru
though.
just for the ceviche.
Ceviche. I hear the food's good. I haven't been since I was 3, so
Yeah, you should go.
I should go.
But then you
got
gotta wait in security.
Then I have to wait in security, and then hopefully I'll bring my headphones and not forget them. So April Fool's Day. So I hope that everybody has a good one, and if you haven't been pranked, Pilar's waiting for you at home. So watch out.
And Allie Mack, ladies and gentlemen, is not pregnant. Officially
Once
not
again.
pregnant. That was a bad, ruthless joke. Thank you very much, Allie Mack. Plenty of show ahead. We've got Tom O'Hara, who's joining us next with DH Sports Consulting. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Hey, Suzanne. Hey, girl, hey.
Hello. She's not pregnant.
Hey, Mom, I'm not pregnant. But I am accepting gifts.
We're gonna have a shower.
Dinners and gift cards.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark spending my evening here with you, as we do every single weeknight on our favorite sports radio station, 8 o'clock p.m. every single night. You can also watch the show 4 o'clock in the afternoon at Behind the Law Radio. I am not the prettiest face in the room, I assure you that. But you're going to want to watch for the other two. Right, Allie Mack and Brianna? I mean, I would tune in just to see you guys, but not me. Right?
If you say so. Okay, we're hotties.
321-282-1055. I do have Allie Mack here to my left. The beautiful Brianna is to my right. Joined today by a very special guest. He is the owner of DH Sports Consulting, Tom O'Hara. How are you, sir?
Great. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here. Tell me a little bit about DH Sports Consulting exactly. What do you guys do over there?
Well, actually, we're a new consulting firm that will specialize in the sports market, amateur sports market. And we'd be looking to bring potential sponsors to the national governing bodies that are out there, the various sports, and at the same time work with the national governing bodies to find some new income potential and bring sponsors and partners along with them.
There's this new park, I believe, up in Sanford, near the Sanford Airport up there.
Bloomba Sports Complex.
There you go. I mean, this is big business with all of these amateur athletes and weekend events and things like that. This is big business, is it not?
It's, I'm sure, several billion-dollar business.
Unbelievable. And do you see it growing? And do you also see maybe parents going away from football and more into baseball, softball, soccer, and that sort of thing?
I believe it's growing. I believe the female segment, the fast pitch, softball segment is growing and it's flourishing. Baseball has kind of, I don't want to say peaked, but there's several million baseball players across the country, between the ages of 10 and 16 that are participating. So it's holding steady.
As parents, how hard do you think we should push our children, if at all, into sports at that young age?
Well, I've had 3 myself.
Yeah.
And then I've been blessed to be, like I say, working in amateur sports pretty much my entire life. Allie and I were talking about this a little earlier. I think that young children, should be introduced to all different types of sports and kind of let the child figure out which direction he or she wants to go in. I mean, for some kids, it's obviously not their bag, but for some kids, it's a great form of recreation. But what you have a lot of times is the parents pushing their kids to get into organized, athletics at a very, very young age. 10 and under. My daughter started playing girls fast pitch at 8 years old. So, and it quickly morphed into a very, very competitive situation.
Do you have any advice for a young father of a 6-year-old who that 6-year-old is obsessed with horseback riding, and they have been since they were 3? Any advice for me to get her out of horseback riding? Because I got to be honest with you, I'm never going to be able to retire. Oh, by the way, Sophia, the horseback rider, my daughter, lost her first tooth today.
Oh,
she sent me a picture. So I'm like, it's weird. It's weird, but it's been loose forever. Finally lost it. Big day. What do you guys think is the normal amount for a tooth fairy to bring these days? Any idea?
The first tooth?
Yeah, first
Oh,
tooth.
you got to double it. You got
So,
whatever it is, double
What is it? $10? $5?
Yeah, I'd say
$10? All right.
$10.
And it goes under the pillow, right?
And it goes
no,
under the
I'm not
Yours
saying
is
I'm the
going
truth.
under the saddle.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, that's true.
No, but this is honest to God's truth. I don't know if you know this yet. I'm literally having to buy another horse now. She's already sort of grown out of Cherokee, and now we're seriously having to buy another horse.
Oh, wow. What are you going to do with Cherokee? You're not going to send
Hey,
him.
we have to sell a Cherokee.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, Sophia's more ready to do it. She knows that because Cherokee's 22 years old,
Oh, wow.
and she just can't. And now that Sophia's jumping higher, she needs a horse that's younger and can jump higher.
So
Oh,
she
wow.
jumps. She's a jumper.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately,
she's
Tom.
6.
Yeah.
You should see her, the
Unfortunately.
video. She's so cute.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it's my first daddy-daughter dance weekend. Did you have any of those? Do you
I've
remember
had-
those?
Yeah, my daughter. We went through that. Now we got granddaughters.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I'm supposed to rent a limo? I mean, that's a little absurd, don't you think?
No, it's your
To
first
rent a
one?
limo for
Are
this?
you going to wear a tux?
A tux? No.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Well, you-
I'll wear a jacket
you
for
can't rent
sure.
a limo and not a tux.
That's absolute fiction, Ally Mac. I disagree
a
with
nice,
that.
a nice
Hey,
suit.
I'm pregnant.
A nice suit and a trip through the car wash.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you. I was even debating if is it tie or not tie. Yeah, tie?
I would do a tie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not just
make it
jacket,
nice.
not just coat.
I think you dress it up. Tie. Take a picture so she can have it in her room.
All right,
These things
gotcha.
she'll always remember. She will always.
You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here. Ally Mack is here. The beautiful Brianna. We're talking to Tom O'Hara, DH Sports Consulting Softball. So softball's bigger than people think. You know, I played some softball in the evenings. You know, the beer leagues or whatever. That these guys play every single weekend and travel. I mean, this is a big sport.
It is. It's huge, and there's a number of teams that travel around the country every weekend playing. So, spending $500,000 to $1 million a year on, just a handful of top teams, but they kind of play a circuit, and called it's USSSA circuit called Conference USSSA, and it gives a chance for teams all throughout the country to hop into a tournament and play against those guys. But it's big business.
There are two types of male softball leagues. It's a U-Trip, and then what's the other one called? Do you remember?
You have ASA.
ASA. I think it's different in balls or something that's used mostly
It's,
in bats.
balls, pitching rules, certification, safety standards for bats and for balls as well. So you get into some hot softballs and some hot softball bats that that are illegal. You got to remember that you're only standing 65 feet away from the batter, and the ball in a lot of instances with a lot of the good players comes off the bat in excess of 100 miles an hour.
Eesh.
So 65 foot, it's a kind of
Gets
a
there
missile,
quickly.
kind of a missile launch down your way.
Have you ever heard any stories about someone using an illegal bat, hitting the pitcher, seriously injuring the pitcher, and then what happens from there?
Oh, man.
You have.
Yeah, absolutely have. It's an interesting point. A lot of times somebody will mistakenly hit the ball up the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean
Yeah.
not intentionally, but
Okay.
again, the ball's coming mighty quick. Most of the pitchers now are wearing face masks.
Yep.
So, but something like that will usually start with somebody accidentally hitting the ball up and shooting the middle. And when that happens, you have a retaliatory type of a situation, and then it expands. And I've had a couple situations where pitcher's has been hurt, hitting the crotch, in the groin, and
Making
not-
them uncles.
Yeah.
not good.
Right.
But it happens. It happens every day.
How did you get into the sports world?
I actually started playing when I finished, high school and started junior college. I wanted to continue to play, and I wanted to continue to play baseball. And a number of my friends were getting into playing softball. And I'm like a lot of people, I'm thinking, well, you set the keg at the end of the bench and at the end of the game,
Yeah.
But immediately I found out that it wasn't that way at all. There's athletes like myself and my friends and athletes across the state and the country were turning to slow pitch softball. So it became a very, very competitive situation right from the outset. And through one of the tournaments we played in, I wasn't happy with the director of the tournament and told him so. and we won the tournament. But he asked me if I wanted to become a area director, and that was with USSSA.
Okay.
So at an early age, I started running events. They called them tournaments back then, but they were events, and just quickly met with a lot of success, and it just kind of traveled up the line from there.
Plenty more ahead with Tom O'Hara. He is with DH Sports Consulting. We're also going to play a very special game of Stump the Clarkie right on the other side of this break. We'll be right back. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
We're obviously desperate for new bumper music around here at this point, right? I mean, we really need to change this up. Who do I call about that, Brianna? Do you know? Who should I talk to?
Find somebody.
We need some bumper music in here. If you're listening, ESPN, if you're listening to me right now, Dave Russell, Chase Bluefield.
Be calling names.
And we need some new bumper music in the studio.
Okay.
Can you communicate with Brianna and get me some new bumper music? My goodness.
I'm about to use my app so you can get some more songs.
My goodness.
321-282-1055. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Watch the show this Sunday, Behind the Law on TV. It's 10 a.m. TV 27. You can also watch the program every single afternoon about 4 o'clock at Behind the Law Radio. We're getting ready to play Stump the Clarkie. It's a trivia game where you have an opportunity to win my money. But if you want to play along, follow us right now at Behind the Law Radio. Enter your questions along the way. We have a very special guest here today, Tom O'Hara. He is with DH Sports Consulting. So I imagine that it's going to be something sports related, which is actually good for me. Ellie Mac, I don't like your chances today. But
I'm feeling so comfortable with this.
So Tom, how it works, we're going to do 4 questions, right? It's kind of like a closest to the number type of thing. So there's no real wrong answer. It's just who's closer. Brianna, you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clarkie. Come on, Clarkie. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarkie. Get over here.
Thank you, Fulton Allen. Brianna, what's the category today?
The category today is all about cars.
What?
What?
How did that happen?
It's April Fool's Day.
Oh.
It's all about sports, guys.
You're
of
pregnant
course.
too?
You know,
Can't be
so
two pregnant women here.
I know.
It would drive you insane.
Trust me, it's hard enough to I'm just kidding. I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say that.
I didn't get it all the way out, so it doesn't count.
Nope.
Doesn't
nope,
count.
I wasn't thinking that.
Doesn't count.
So we have question number 1. How many?
Wait, whoa. So it really is cars?
It's sports.
It's what?
Oh, okay. See, I'm also dumb.
He's not a
He has
good
pregnancy
April Fool's
brain.
person.
That's what it is.
All right, question number 1. Stump the Clarkie for an April Fool's Day. Go ahead.
How many professional athletes are there currently in the 4 largest North American sports leagues?
Okay.
That's the NBA, MLB, NHL, NFL, for those who might not have known.
I wish I could do some math here. I could probably get pretty close, but we don't have that kind
We don't
of
have
time.
that kind of time. Exactly.
All right. So we're thinking baseball, football, basketball, and hockey?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All
Question
right.
number 2 for an April Fool's Day edition of what did you guys do to my board over here? Anyway, what is that?
What is what?
What's that?
I don't know what that is.
That doesn't look very good.
Has it always glowed like that?
Huh?
Has those lights always been on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Hopefully you can hear me right now.
Probably not.
All right. Question number 2. Stump the Clarkie, ESPN 580 Orlando. Go ahead.
Yes. When it comes to men's basketball, what percentage make it from the NCAA to major
Ooh,
pro?
very, very small.
Oh, yeah. How small? From NCAA to major pro.
All right. Question number 3.
I like it. Question number 3. According to the Forbes annual list of the world's 50 most valuable sports teams, the Dallas Cowboys rank number 1. How much are they worth?
Allie Mack, if you win this today, we're going to have major issues. I know you're cheating.
Tom is just like killing these
Yeah.
answers, man. He's just rolling down, like just
It's like, yep.
no thought. He just looks up and just, yep, that's the one.
You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clarkie. We're playing Stump the Clarkie. 4 questions. We've gone through 3. What is question 4, Brianna?
Question 4 is kind of interesting. There
I'll
are
be the judge of that.
There are 3 sports where, when a clinical study was done, proved that the athletes lived longer. Name 2 of those sports.
The athletes lived longer.
Yeah, trust me, Tom. None of us got it. We didn't get it either. Please repeat the question.
Yes,
Yeah.
there are 3 sports. When a clinical trial was done, their athletes, if they play the sport, they live longer. Name
These are-
2 of those 3 sports.
And this isn't just the major sports in America, right? This is anything?
any
It's like it could be
sports.
cricket for all I know.
No, it's not cricket. It's 3 sports that you would know.
That's so we would know.
Weaving.
Okay.
It's a sport.
Crochet.
Girl chasing.
I believe that's called tomcatting.
So I'm naming how many?
2.
2? Okay. Certainly not football. Well, I'm not going to. No offense, football, but
Right.
Gotta erase that one.
If they're a vegetable, does that count? Are they still alive?
all right. I think we can probably score this game. All right, let's score this game, Brianna. What was question number 1?
Question number 1. How many professional athletes are there currently in the 4 largest North American sports
Let's go to our
leagues?
very special guest, Tom O'Hara. Go ahead, Tom.
I come up with 3,600.
3,600. Pretty good guess, I think. Allie Mack, what did you have?
I just said lots.
Lots. You are correct. Ding, ding, ding. I went with 5,200, which might be a little high. What is the right answer?
It's a little high because it's only 5,000.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
okay. That'll be 1 for me, no problem. So Justin's up 1-0-0. Question number 2 for a Stump the Clarkie April Fool's Day edition. Go ahead.
When it comes to men's basketball, what percentage make it from the NCAA to major pro?
Allie Mack, let's go with you first. What did you say?
10%.
10% must be too high. I went with 0.8%. Tom O'Hara, what do you have?
1.7.
1.7%. What's the right answer?
1.2%.
Tom is right. Close to the money on
Really?
that
They
one.
had a
That'll be a
chance. They
point
thought
for
they had a
Tom,
chance.
1 for JC, 1 for Tom. Allie Mack's trying to get on the board with
say.
question number 3.
Question number 3. According to the Forbes annual list of the world's 50 most valuable sports teams, Dallas Cowboy ranks number 1. What are they worth?
I went with, and I think I'm a little low here, $3 billion. Tom O'Hara, what did you have?
I got 4.5 billion.
$4.5 billion?
I have 10 million.
10 million. I'm not trying. I'm trying not to laugh, but 10 million. Let's think about that.
Nope.
I mean, your house is almost worth 10 million. The Dallas Cowboys?
But my house is almost worth $10 million.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, what is the right answer, Brianna?
$4.8 billion.
That will go to Tom. He's up 2-1. Allie Mack, you're out of the running on this one. So this is a tough question here. Question number 4. Brianna, what do you have?
Question number 4, a clinical study was done that proved that certain athletes who played certain sports live longer. Name 2 of those 3 sports.
So I went with soccer, and I don't really like the second answer, basketball.
Really?
Tom O'Hara, what did you have?
I went with golf and tennis.
Those are great answers. Allie Mack?
I went with golf and tennis.
What?
Nice.
You guys are probably going to win, I think, on that
Safe
one.
sports, you know.
What is the correct answer, Brianna?
I'll just name all 3.
Okay.
1 is swimming,
Okay.
tennis or racket sports, and cycling.
Well, I got 0. So I think I'm going to have to give that one to
goes to
Tom
Tom.
and Allie Mack. When Tom would win today's edition of Stump the Clarkie. Congratulations, Tom. Has a guest ever really won?
Yeah.
A lot or not very
No,
often?
I think he's a 3rd.
Third guest? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
That's
not bad.
pretty good. Thanks for playing Stump the Clarkie today.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
Thank you, Fulton Alum. All right, Tom, let's get back to you here for a minute, and we'll take a quick break as well. So, DH Sports Consulting a little bit. Let's say that I want to reach out, and I want you guys to help me do some things. How do I reach you?
You can get me. Easiest way is my email, and that is dhsc at win. dhscwin@gmail.com.
Got it. So your clients are who?
We just finished up working.
You don't even have to say exactly. I mean, but like, what kind of client are you really looking for?
Looking for sporting goods manufacturers, looking for national governing bodies of athletics, ASA, USSSA, NSA, AAU. Just finished up a small project with AAU and currently working on adding another team to the women's professional softball league out in LA.
Nice. Travel a lot?
A fair amount. It's going to increase more and more as we go.
Gotcha.
Especially with this LA deal, in a women's professional fast pitch.
Regarding football, have you seen a decline in parents registering their kids for football?
I think that's a fantastic question, too, that a lot of people are wondering, and I think we should answer that question right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One last segment ahead for an April Fool's edition of Behind the Law, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark joining you, as we do every single weeknight at 8 o'clock p.m. I have Allie Mack to my left, the beautiful Brianna to my right. We have a very special guest today, Tom O'Hara. He is with DH Sports Consulting. Allie Mack, you had a good question, I think, right before the break. Ask that again.
Yeah, so my son is 14 years old, and he's into sports, and he loves football. So have you seen an impact in the registration for young kids, entering football because of, the concussion and the helmet and the impact?
Well, I'm only going on what I see and what I read. The organizations that I've worked with don't have tackle football. So that's more of a Pop Warner type of an issue. But, there's been a lot of debate against it. I actually played football.
What position?
I was quarterback.
Oh, he's the man. He's a big man on campus.
So it was, I didn't like getting hit. You know, so and back in those days, I mean, the quarterback got crushed every play. So
no penalty either.
Yeah, no penalty. So it was. I've had my share of some pretty tough hits along the way, but I loved it. I mean, I loved it. I played baseball, football, and basketball, and there was just great things about every one of those sports that endeared me to want to play. Football being by far the best, and I like the contact. I like to hit. I didn't like to get hit. You know, so that was that was a big thing. You know, when we were growing up. But today, I think everybody's injury conscious. I think we all know with the brain injuries that they're studying now, former NFL players. I believe that concussions are prevalent, but the equipment's getting better. You know, I think every one of the manufacturers, Schutt, Riddell, those companies are working very, very, very hard to find the answers and prevent the catastrophic injuries that are happening.
We had a doctor on here one time who said, Dr. Vihek, remember him? Mm-hmm. We said, what do you think? I mean, how can you make football more safe? And he said that we should go back to the old leather helmets from the 1940s or 50s or whatever, because people would not hit as hard. So that was an interesting idea, I think. And, it's never going to happen, of course, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, but I think if that were to come into play, I mean, we would have people just...
Yeah.
It wouldn't be good.
Look, when I was a kid, and I see it every weekend, especially during football season, we would play our high school games, and then, end up heading home. And before you know it, there was a handful of guys that were getting together and say, look, man, you want to go and play some football?
Yeah.
So we're playing football without equipment.
Right.
Tackle football. So, I think that, it's the sport's headed in the right way.
See, I was obsessed with basketball. I grew up kind of without a dad. My mom was a fantastic parent. She, loved her to death. Her mother, my grandmother, who's now passed away, they were really good parents. But I think they made one parenting mistake with me. A very clear parenting mistake. I love basketball. That being, but I was probably even better at baseball, but I just had a basketball obsession. Now, my mom should have looked at me and said, hey, got the measuring tape out, said, dude, you're 5'9", you need to go play baseball. You know what I mean? But she didn't. She let me do whatever I wanted. But now I'm like,
so you were
what
in
an
basketball?
Idiot. I played basketball my whole life, yeah. But I should have been focusing on baseball. I had no chance in basketball.
And you don't
5'9".
You don't have no chance in baseball, really. I mean,
thanks, man.
No, there's a very, very, very small, minute percentage of players that actually go on to play baseball at a professional level. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's well below 1%. Oh, wow. So, the reasons that you should be looking at playing baseball and playing basketball is to get into a school that would appreciate your talents. And there's a lot of schools that have a lot of small guards, especially at the junior college level. Down here in Florida, junior colleges offer a great opportunity for players. They offer scholarships. They offer housing. My daughter, when she left Maryland, left a mid-major university to come down here and played a year at Daytona Community College, which is now Daytona State. But they had a bigger budget than the University of Maryland, Baltimore County for sports. Wow. So I think, the kids need to be focused on playing and at the very best, use that athletic ability to get into school. Okay. That's the beauty about the women's softball program.
Right.
The professional players. One thing that you could say when you were talking about these women, besides being phenomenal athletes, I mean, absolutely phenomenal, was that I would say to people, baseball people, who would come to watch the women play, do you realize that out of the 40 women that are out there on that softball field, 20 on each side, they're all college graduates?
Is that right?
They're all college graduates. So, you can't say that in baseball.
That's right.
And I'm not bashing baseball at all. I'm just saying that there's a lot of kids who, opt to continue to try to play professional baseball, and the odds of them making it to the major leagues is daunting. And they leave college, and the next thing you know, they're 22, 23, 24 years old, and they're out of school for 5 years.
It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark, Allie Mack, the beautiful Brianna. We're interviewing a good friend, Tom O'Hara, DH Sports Consulting. Now, Tom, there are a lot of parents out there of 10, 11, 12-year-old kids who think that their son or their daughter is going to be the next Barry Bonds. It's just natural in parenting, I would say. But at what age can a parent really tell if they have someone who is going to go on and play like high-level college or even professional? Is there a certain age where you can really start to tell?
Well, I think all parents think that my kid's going to make it, period.
Well, that's the thing. You're a man. You having a son. It's a boy. You're thinking he's going to be the president of the United States, a U.S. senator, or the first pick in the MLB draft or the NFL draft. So that's the expectation. I've been through that. Like I say, with daughter that played at the very, very, high of fast pitch softball, and was able to ultimately walk away from the game. And, your perspective as a parent changes as your kids get older. You want to live your sports life through your kids. But at some point, you sit back as a parent and you realize that you've raised 3 good kids. They're good citizens, haven't been in any trouble. They're good parents. That makes me happy that I've done my job. But younger parents, that's a process you have to go through. You can tell those folks.
And parents get very competitive. More competitive than the kids.
Correct. I mean, you see a lot of that on the news where there's attacks on referees and fights between the parents in the stands and whatnot. Back to your question, what age? You can tell if your child is athletically apt at a fairly young age, 8 or 9.
Oh, 10. Yeah? Okay, so pretty young.
Yeah, you can. And then you have to look at their interest in the sport. Again, it can get very, very expensive taking your kids to camps and clinics and trying to put them on travel teams that charge $1,500 a kid just to join up. And then they travel around the country, and the parents end up spending $10,000, $15,000 a year.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And trust me, horseback riding is right there. Are there sports that are easier than others to get a scholarship for playing?
Well, again, my time has been spent in baseball and fast pitch softball, and I can tell you in both sports, they're not the football team, and they're certainly not the basketball team. So, the number of scholarships that they have to offer are mainly partial scholarships. I believe when my daughter played, there were 13 full scholarships that were awarded to the softball team. So pitchers and catchers got those. And then it was a negotiation between the coach and the parent as to what percentage of a scholarship that they would offer. So the chances of your child, going into baseball on a full ride, unless he's a pitcher or a very, very good catcher, are low. Now them getting a partial scholarship, 25%, 30%, 40%. And again, books are negotiable, room and board are negotiable, everything's negotiable.
Right.
And I think the parents need to understand that. And that's why there's companies like mine out there, and that's to ultimately we're going to get into consulting with these parents on, what is the way to go, as far as to get your child on the right track to be seen by college coaches.
Excellent job today, Tom O'Hara, DH Sports Consulting. One more time, Tom, how do we reach out?
I'll give you my cell number. It's 443-694-6896. Again, it's 443-694-6896. And then reach me by email, and that's dhscwin, WIN, @gmail.com.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here, Allie Mack. Good job today.
Thank you.
Brianna, excellent work. I don't know much, but I do know one little teeny tiny thing.
What's that?
I'll see you right back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. on ESPN 580 Orlando.